Please don't mind the fact that I look like a train wreck. I have been going through it. I have contracted some kind of disease. I thought 150 pages wouldn't be that bad. Whoever called this engaging thriller, you're lying. You are lying. I wanted to get a lot farther yesterday, but you know, you can't always get what you want. I got to page 100 and then I was just like, This has 5-star potential. I think this will be like a 2.5 star. Organs. Well, hey there, y'all. Thank you again for clicking on this video, and thank you for visiting my channel again. It is now Christmas, obviously, and I just want to, can I just like show off really fast this amazing bookshelf that my boyfriend made for me, and featuring my cute little Christmas tree. The lights can change color. I picked Christmas colors, but it can also be like a warm white, which is my personal favorite. Ooh, that's nice. But I put some of my favorites on there. On this one, I just have a few of my personal faves. I mean, not all of them are my personal faves, but like they just look nice, you know? And then this is all my hardbacks and stuff like that. So doesn't it look great? Doesn't it look awesome? It's like a perfect backdrop for me. Okay, so in case you guys didn't notice, the Christmas season has started and it has really put me in a cozy reading mood. And so I picked out a few books for my physical TBR that kind of give me like winter vibes. I don't really know what they're about super much because I haven't read them yet. They just give me winter vibes. So let me just go through them real fast because I want to do a read 150 pages a day challenge this week, which isn't a whole lot of pages, but I felt like I needed it to be sustainable because a few things are happening this week and I probably won't have super much time to read. So I just wanted to pick a sustainable number that I could do for the whole week. And I think 150 is that number. Okay, so the first one that I felt like gave wintry vibes was Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is a very popular one on Book Talk that I have not read yet, so I am excited to get into it. I think it's about a night circus. And then we have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I just read the first book in the Natural series and really liked it. I'm going to keep on continuing that series, but this is the more popular one, I would say. It's a little bit newer, I believe, than the Naturals. I don't know if that's true. But I've heard a lot about how like crazy this is newer. But I've heard a lot about how crazy the scenes are, how breathtaking it is, and all that. And I know it's like kind of mystery-ish. I know there's brothers named Hawthorne. So that's what I know about this. Oh, and there's a love triangle, I believe, which is great. And then I have Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I have not read the Kingdom of the Wicked series, so this is going to be my first book by her. But it just seemed like, you know, mysterious and cold. And that's what I want in a wintry book. I know this could also be said for the fall, but I feel like the fall is more cozy, like warm cozy, and this is like cold cozy. Does that make any sense at all? I guess not, but I got it for 50% off at Barnes & Noble, so that's great. And then I feel like for me, winter is the time for classics. So I added to this list Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I also love listening to classics on audiobook. I don't know why, it's just like, it's fun for me. I love hearing the narrators. It's a lot easier for me to keep my focus and I just like it. So I am going to hopefully be reading some of this in this vlog. I don't know how far I'm gonna get, but from what I have read of Charles Dickens in the past, I've read Christmas Carol. Is that the only thing I've read by him? I think so, but I want to read a lot of his stuff, so I am gonna start with this. Very exciting. That is my TBR for the video. I think I'm gonna start with Night Circus just because it is the first one I mentioned. I don't know why, but I'm gonna start with this one, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Morning guys, it is the next day. I did manage to reach the goal yesterday. I got to page 154. You saw that in a clip, I hope. And I even got some reading done this morning, so I am now on page 180. So I am this far through, probably, I think Goodreads said like 35% through. So that's pretty good, but I do want to read a lot more today. I'm a little bit more free today, I think, if everything goes as planned. But my overall thoughts on this, I am really enjoying it so far. I love books with this atmosphere. The atmosphere is so impenetrable impeccable. It's amazing. It's so magical. So now that I've read the beginning, I do know the premise. So the reason it's called the Night Circus is because we're following kind of the creation of this circus that is only open at night. And the circus is so mystical and so magical, and like unlike any circus that anyone has ever seen before, they just show up out of the blue and are open for a few nights and then leave. So everyone, like, as soon as the circus comes into town, they like all want to go because it's so unique. The acrobats are crazy. The illusionists look like they can actually do magic. There's like fortune tellers and a magical carousel and a clock that's amazing. So just like it follows the creation of like all these little tidbits of the circus, and so that is kind of like the backdrop. But we're also following kind of like the plot. So like before the circus was even like a thing, there were these two really famous stage magicians that were illusionists, and they were so good. And one of my favorite things about this is that there's actual magic in it. Like these illusionists kind of like pretend that what they're doing are tricks and stuff, but actually they're literally doing magic. I get the vibe that these two men were like rivals with each other, but they both kind of adopted proteges. For one of the guys, it was his actual daughter that he didn't know he had, and then the mom died, and so now the daughter is his ward, and she can also do magic. And then the other guy goes and finds a little boy at an orphanage to become his protege, and so they kind of like raise both of these kids to become super great magicians to kind of like duke it out when they get older. So we're also kind of following that plot line where there are these two magicians kind of like that are in some kind of competition or battle with each other, but they're both part of the circus, and so when they get older they both become part of the circus and they both kind of become like rivals with each other. It's so this is so unique. I feel like this is gonna be a favorite of mine. I feel like just because I'm a big fan of atmosphere in books. That is so hard to nail, and if you can nail the atmosphere, then you're just gonna get such high points in my book. I have heard said that this book is all vibes, no plot, which I feel like there is a plot. There is a plot that you follow. You do want to find out what happens and all that stuff, but that's not in the forefront in this book. What's in the forefront is the atmosphere and the backdrop of this night circus and the mystical, magical mystery of all of this. I love it. I really love it. So I am definitely enjoying my time reading this book. I can see why, if you're a big fan of plots and like it has to keep you intrigued and stuff like that, I can see why people like that wouldn't enjoy it, but I just love the vibe of this book so much. So yeah, I'm super excited to keep on reading. I do hope to go past the 150 page mark because I don't want to take forever to read this. I do read books like these a little bit slower because the words, like each individual word is pretty important. I feel like I can kind of speed read. Like I just read the Shatter Me books and I felt like those were so easy to speed read, especially, you know, like YA or romance and books like that. It's really easy to speed read because not every single word is like super important, so I just kind of like skip over them. I get the gist. But with books like these, I feel like you just need to digest the writing, and so I read it a little bit slower, which is fine with me because I'm enjoying every second of it. It's just making it a little bit slower to get through it. So yeah, we'll see how far I get, but I'll keep you guys posted. Hi guys, so I'm officially halfway through the book, and I feel like it was the perfect book to choose for this challenge, just like a wintry book. I highly recommend this for if you want wintry vibes, because it's like magical and mystical and cozy and kind of dark a little bit. Like not dark, like I don't know how to describe it. It's all in the vibe. It's not like anything super dark happened, but it's like the vibe is just very like eerie, maybe a little undertone of eeriness, but it's not so overpowering that it's like spooky. I just really like it. I don't know. This is like, this has 5-star potential. That is how much I'm liking this. It's been so long since I've given a book 5 stars, so that would be awesome. Unless something really dumb happens, I might be giving this 5 stars because this is a rare find. It's a rare find with a book that's able to capture this much awesome magical magical atmosphere, and I love it, and I feel very cozy right now. I also really like the dual timeline that's going on with the twins and stuff. I like following their timeline as well, so there's like no boring parts, I feel like. I just really like it. I just want to keep on reading it. It is so cold in my room right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish Night Circus. I wanted to get a lot farther yesterday, but you know, you can't always get what you want. So I'm gonna finish it today though, I hope. Let's get it. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, so I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is like an octave lower because I woke up with a really sore throat. So that's amazing for me. I get sick so friggin' often. It's like one of the worst things about being me. And it's not even usually like bad sickness, it's just like the kind of sickness that makes your day miserable. So I'm not like bedridden or anything, it's just this day is not gonna be as delightful as I would have hoped. But I finished Night Circus last night, so that is a plus. I liked it so much it might even be a 5-star. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, this is such a rare find for me. This kind of book that can capture that kind of atmosphere and keep me intrigued despite the plot not being like a super fast-paced plot. Like, I was so impressed. Like, I loved every bit of it. So that is definitely 5-star potential. I highly recommend that book. You know, if you're not the kind of person that appreciates atmosphere so much, I can see like why people would say it's all vibes and no plot, like it's boring or whatever. But like for me, it is so my cup of tea. Like, I loved that book. It was so magical. The next book I'm probably gonna get into is Stalking Jack the Ripper. So just because it's a little bit shorter, so I feel like I'll be able to get through this in 2 days. So yeah, I'm gonna do this one next. I think it's about solving mysteries, I think, maybe. I don't really know. I just remember seeing this book in the library at one point and thinking it looked cool. Saw the whole series at the library and I was like, oh, I might want to read that one day. And look at me now. Wow. I have a bachelorette party to go to today and it's gonna be a sleepover and it starts at 3, so I'm gonna be like not free from 3 on. So I don't know if I'll be able to read 150 pages in that time. I don't know, because look at how big these pages are and look how small the words are, so I don't really know if I'll be able to do this, but I really hope so. Oh, nice. So this is 150 pages, so I need to read all this. What time is it? I got a late start because I was not feeling well, so it is 10:35, so I think that's enough time. I'll be fine, don't worry about it. Okay, I am now about 80 pages in, and I have a kind of grasp on what the story is about. So we're following the main character, who is this girl named Aubrey Rose in 1800s London, and she is the apprentice of her uncle, who I can't really tell what their job is. They dissect dead people, basically, to find out like the causes of death. So I guess that's autopsy, but they also like, I don't know, but they're also like kind of medical in some way. So I guess they're like glorified morticians. I don't really know. I don't know that it ever said like the name for what they're doing. But like she's with her uncle every day dissecting dead people, and she's like really good at it. And there's like murders going on, and they keep dissecting the bodies of the murder victims to see like how they got murdered. There is this killer on the loose in London who is targeting women. So yeah, there's that. But that's kind of the basic premise right now. But there's also like this rival in her class who's like super smart as well, and he's like happens to be dashingly handsome. So they have kind of a rivalry going on, which I'm sure is going to turn into something. So thoughts right now, I'm not super enjoying it, I'll be honest. It's kind of boring, and I feel like the theme of her being a girl is just so prominent. Like, I hate that when it's like, when it's emphasized so much that like, oh, I'm a girl and I'm the only girl in this industry and everyone treats me bad because I'm a girl. Like, all of this is because I'm a girl. Like, it got to the point where I was like, every single page said something about how people treat her differently because she's a girl, and it just got old. It got old. Like, I know that like in the 1800s women were treated very well, or at least not as well as they are now, but like, do you have to say it like every single page? Like, I get it, and it's like gets to the point where it's a little bit ridiculous. Like, there's a murderer on the loose and she was out late at night, and then she comes home and her brother's like, I was so worried about you, and she's like, oh, he wouldn't be worried about me if I was a boy. I was like, he's just worried about you, bro. Your brother's worried about you, and there's a killer on the loose who's targeting women that look like you. So yeah, I don't know. It was just annoying. So I don't know. I'm not super enjoying it right now. There's not a whole lot I like, honestly. So I mean, I'm gonna keep on reading. I'm gonna give it a chance if there's some other element that's introduced that makes it more interesting. But right now, I'm not super intrigued or into it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just lacking. It's lacking something, and it has too much of a certain thing that I don't like. So yeah, it's also like I didn't really know that this was catered as YA horror. I didn't know that. And then they just talked about intestines a lot, and like there's a lot of goriness because they're dissecting dead bodies. And so I was like, oh, interesting. And then I saw something that said like Harry Maniscalco's first YA horror, whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, yep. I get that. So yeah, right now I'm not super feeling it, but I'll update you guys later. Okay, I still have the throat thing, so that's great. I'm sorry if I keep on coughing throughout this, but so I just don't know how I feel about Stalking Jack the Ripper, because I gave it to page 100 and I was like, okay, maybe it'll pick up, maybe something will happen. Something kind of did happen, but it just wasn't, I don't know. I was so disappointed in it, honestly, because I feel like I've heard some good things about this. So I just started reading Inheritance Games. I kind of cheated. Well, it's not cheating because I was still reading, but I would rather continue with Inheritance Games, honestly. I wasted a bunch of time reading Stalking Jack the Ripper, and I feel like I should give it a chance. I don't want to DNF. I hate DNFing stuff. I want to at least finish it, and then if I don't like it, give it a low rating. So I'll probably keep reading it. But I started Inheritance Games and I really like it, so I didn't know. Honestly, I was a little bit disappointed at the beginning because I thought this was fantasy. Sue me for thinking that a cover that has a fancy key and a crown and a dagger or sword or whatever that's like has this kind of cover. Sue me for thinking that this was fantasy. I know it was at the mystery thriller section at Barnes & Noble, but I mean, like, I don't know. So now I know what this is about, though. That's what happens when you go into books so blind that you don't even know the genre. Yeah, so basically it's about this girl who is a junior in high school, and she's like super dirt poor, especially because her parents are both gone. I think her dad's just absent and her mom died, and she's living with her older sister. So she's like super poor, and then she just gets like letters from this family that say that she like inherited, but that her sister keeps throwing them away because she thinks they're a scam. That obviously sounds like a scam. Like, hey, you inherited from this billionaire, please send money or whatever. I don't know. So eventually, I still don't know why she was put in this man's will. But basically, a boy shows up, a very well-dressed boy, comes to her school one day and is like, hey, so my grandfather is one of the most richest people in this country, and you are in his will, and you need to show up for the will reading. We've been postponing the will reading so that you can come to listen to it. And she's like, what? Why is he, like, I still don't know why she's in the will. Apparently this guy is worth like billions and billions and billions of dollars, this grandfather that just died. So she goes to the house called Hawthorne House because her last name's Hawthorne, and it's like this mansion in Texas. The whole family's there. There are 4 brothers in particular that I think are gonna be important. I think there's a love triangle. I mentioned that at the beginning. I feel like there's a love triangle, but I don't remember at all who she ends up with or anything, like, because whenever people would talk about it, it just means nothing to me. Just like blah 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 blah. These guys' names, I don't even, now that I've read it, I know that their names are Grayson and Jameson, but I don't know like who she ends up with or anything like that. So I don't even know who I root for. I literally just met Jameson, so I don't know. But the will reading scene reminds me so much of Knives Out. Funny. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. So I kind of want to keep reading that, but I really don't want to DNF Stalking Jack the Ripper, so I think I'm gonna keep reading that. But it's another day where I don't have a whole lot of time, and so I thought that 150 pages wouldn't be that bad, and it's not that bad for a book with a particular like type size and stuff like that, like font size. But with these, it's really hard to get to 150 pages with the very limited amount of time I have. So I'm gonna try my darndest. I'm a decent way through because I got to page 100 and then I was just like So yeah, I'm gonna keep on reading that, I guess, but pray for me. Can I just say, another reason why I'm finding this book hard to read is because of the main character's like voice, like perspective and stuff. I said that she was annoying just because of how much she emphasizes like she's a woman and like therefore she's like disadvantaged in every way and everyone treats her differently, all that stuff. Like I get it. Yeah, I'm so sorry, but like, can you get over it? I don't know. But like, she is so morbid. Like her mind is so macabre. Is that the right way to use that word? I don't know. She has these macabre interests and stuff. It says all the time like, oh, my brother was the kind of person who would like pet a puppy, whereas I was the kind of person that would imagine the puppy's insides. I'm just like, There's something wrong with you, ma'am, if you're thinking about a puppy's intestines instead of thinking how cute and fluffy he is. So just like things like that, I'm just like, why are you this way? Which I guess is the point. She's like, oh, everyone thinks I'm like a monster or whatever for this. I don't think you're a monster. I just think there's something wrong. I don't know. It's not like, I can see, I guess, why some people would be fascinated by that, to be reading from that kind of person's perspective, but I'm not into it. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's not for me. I just like, I don't like reading things from her perspective because she's just always like, organs. It's the same day, and I have finished stalking the Jack the Ripper. All 318 pages of it. Yeah, I think this will be like a 2.5 star, honestly. I was really hoping it would pick up. I was really hoping it would be good. It did pick up plot-wise, but like, it never like got good. Especially because like the big reveal of the mystery, whatever, I saw coming a million miles away. Like, it was not shocking at all. I was so like, yeah, I don't know, it wasn't very believable. It was annoying with how many times she talked about how everyone treated her differently because she was a girl, all that stuff. I'm like, okay, that's like taking away from the actual hard lives of women back then with how much you're saying it and how much you're just like shoving it down my throat. Like, you're taking away from the actual horrors of that time. Especially like, she's a rich woman. Yeah, she's a woman, but at least she's not like working for minimum wage in a factory somewhere, and like, it just got on my nerves a little bit. Like, it's just not, that's not interesting. That's not interesting. If that's like a personality trait, that you're a woman in a male-dominated industry and therefore you're treated differently, like, that's not a good personality trait. I'm sorry. So yeah, probably I'm not gonna rate that high. Probably about a 2.5 star, maybe. I don't usually rate books that low, usually because I read better books. But from now on, I'm going to be reading the Inheritance Games, and so hopefully that will be a lot better. So far, I like it better. Whoever called this an engaging thriller, you're lying. You are lying. Anyway, that is all for today. So tomorrow I read 50 pages of Inheritance Games. I read it yesterday. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to be doing that, which I'm a lot more excited about. Okay, so I've been reading a little bit more of Inheritance Games. I'm over 100 pages in now. 118 is the page I'm on. So still not that far, but so it's about, you know, this girl who inherits a crazy amount of money and like she doesn't expect it. And so like it's like a mystery of trying to figure out why this guy named her as the heir to like the biggest portion of his estate. And so far it's being really interesting. It's like, it really reminds me of Knives Out because it's a family and they all like have their own secrets and stuff that you need to figure out, and like, so I really like that aspect of it. Of course, the brothers are at the forefront. There's 4 brothers, but there's only like 2 that are supposed to be like love interests or whatever, and I can see right now like the seeds being sown for the love triangle and stuff. And I honestly don't know which one is going to like be endgame, because they both have like character traits of like love interest, like popular love interest. Like, one is more like brooding and the other is more like will play along and is like has a sense of humor or whatever. I feel like both have their fair share, like both archetypes have their fair share of like getting the girl at the end. So I don't know which one is gonna be picked. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. There's like one brother right now that's more hostile towards Avery, and I'm like, I feel like a lot of the times they like audiences like the more enemies to lovers thing, so maybe it's gonna be him. But then audiences also really like when a guy's fun, a little more fun-loving and teasing and stuff, so maybe it's gonna be the other one. So like, I really don't know. So that's gonna be interesting to find out. But yeah, right now they're just, you know, trying to uncover the mystery of why Avery was named as an heiress, even though she's never met this man in her life. Hey guys, it is the last day of the challenge and I am going for finishing Inheritance Games. I'm in a pretty good place. I'm over halfway through, so it's probably like 55%, I don't know. But I only have 170 or so pages left. I'm gonna try to stay awake because, as you can hear, I have contracted some kind of disease, some kind of infectious ailment, and so that's making me tired. It's not even that bad of an ailment, but it makes my body very tired. So I'm gonna try to stay awake enough to read 170 pages today. I think I can do it, so pray for me. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try to make a lot of excuses to stay in bed because I really don't feel good, so. Okay. But I am really enjoying Inheritance Games so far. On that other note, I like our main character. I like solving the puzzles with her. I like the other characters, like the Hawthorne boys and stuff. They all have their distinct personalities, and I like that. It's cool how many, like, secrets this family has, and even the secrets that, like, Avery's mom had, and she's, like, trying to figure out her secrets and stuff. So it's really fun to keep on reading and figure out what has been concealed and, like, what else there is to be discovered. So it's a lot of, like, uncovering things and solving puzzles and stuff like that, which I'm a big fan of. So I'm enjoying it. I'm going to get into reading for the foreseeable future. I was only able to read 70 pages earlier, so now I have like 100 left. So I'm about to finish all that right now. It is 7 o'clock, which is kind of crazy because it's pitch black outside. It was pitch black an hour ago. But we're gonna buckle down and get this done. I am determined. Shadow's here for moral support, and that's all I was gonna say. So I'm going to have at it. Well, that's not surprising. The plot just keeps thickening. Cliffhanger. Ooh, cliffhanger for the next book. Okay, I am ready to go to bed, but I finished this great book. I really liked it. I really liked how the mystery was so layered, and it wasn't just like, we didn't even really know what we were looking for. It wasn't like a murder mystery, like where there was a particular answer, a particular person that you had to find. You weren't even sure like what you were looking for, just like answers. And so it was so layered, and I loved that, and I was very impressed by how layered it all was, how detailed, and it was really hard for me to guess stuff. Like I can usually, like with murder mysteries, like it's not that shocking usually when the killer is revealed, but with this mystery and all the puzzles and everything like that, I didn't see like anything coming. So I really love that aspect of it. I'm probably gonna give it 4 stars. I think it didn't blow my socks off, but I did really like it, and I really liked the characters, and the family drama and just the drama in general was really good. And I enjoyed this one for being sick while reading it, honestly, because it was actually really easy to turn the pages, even though the type is kind of small and the pages are kind of big. I hardly noticed. It was really easy for me to keep on reading. So I really liked this. I really don't feel like tired or like, oh man, I'm glad I got through that like I did with Stalking Jack the Ripper. I am going to film my wrap up in the morning because I am really tired right now, so I'll see you guys then. Hey, good morning guys. Please don't mind the fact that I look like a train wreck because I have been going through it. I got through 3 entire books with this reading challenge, which I'm so happy with. If I had done 200 pages a day, I probably could have done a 4th, but that just was too much for me this week. It's gonna be too much for me next week as well because my brother's getting married next week, so there's gonna be a lot of preparation for that. But I'm so glad that I got all this reading done before all the chaos of that happens. So let's just go through them one by one. The Night Circus, I absolutely adored. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I am going to be thinking about this for a long time. I just love books that can capture an atmosphere so well, and especially the fact that it's like about a circus and the whole vibe of circuses I actually really enjoy. So I'm actually really excited to read Caraval after this because I've heard it compared to Night Circus, like it's a YA version of Night Circus, which sounds great, so I can't wait to read that. It also sounds pretty wintry, so yeah, this was the perfect book to read for a wintry vibe. So I definitely recommend this one if you want the perfect atmosphere, ambiance, super magical, like 10 out of 10. I've not had a 5-star in a fat minute, and so I think Divine Rivals is the last time I gave a book 5 stars. So I am so happy that I found another 5-star and that I enjoyed this so much. Fantastic book, highly recommend. And then the next one was The Valley Right After the Peak, which was Stalking Jack the Ripper. I'm just so disappointed in this book. I don't know why. I didn't know a whole lot about this, but I really thought this would be my cup of tea. But I know a lot of other people like this book. I mean, I think I talked about my reasons for disliking it more before. The mystery was boring. The reveal was obvious. The main character's mind is just a weird place to be, and I did didn't enjoy it. The imagery was like unnecessarily gross. Like a lot of it I didn't mind, but there were some points where I was like, that is so unnecessary. Why do you have to just like keep on making it grosser? It's like they're trying to be quirky or like trying to be not like other books, and that they just keep on talking about gross things, and I was not having it. I really did not enjoy this. I did like the setting, I guess. It did feel wintry. You could also say it's fall because it's like a mystery and like creepy and all that stuff, but the fog and the cold and I don't know, it felt okay for winter. And just the fact that this girl who grew up rich and privileged just kept on bringing up that she's a woman, so everyone treats her horribly and like all this stuff. It was just like, you know that in this time period you could be working for minimum wage at a factory, but you're not. People might be rude at you for doing something that's dominated by a man, but you're still doing it. They're not stopping you. It just felt so forced. The author's trying to get feminism points or something. That's like, I was not having it. But anyway, yeah, 2.5 stars. Did not enjoy, would not recommend, at least to people with my similar reading taste. If you do like the sound of all of that, then you can pick it up if you want. I know there's a lot of people that do like this book, so let me know in the comments if the other books are worth it, if the other books in the series are worth it, because I know that they all like, they change setting, they change like the mystery and everything like that. You just follow Audrey, Rose, and Thomas, so I'm curious to see if any of the other ones are worth it, but I wouldn't do it just of my own volition. I don't really want to risk that because I did not enjoy my time reading this. So let me know in the comments if you've read them and if you think that they're different or you think I would enjoy them more. I'd be willing to open myself up to that. And then I read the Inheritance Games, which I gave, I think, 4 stars is my final rating, but I really enjoyed this. I would honestly, the cover is like, I mean, I already thought it was fantasy before I picked this up because I knew absolutely nothing, which is how I like to go into books, but I usually know the genre, but this time I got it totally wrong, so oopsie. Honestly, after reading this, I feel like it's more summer. I know the cover is giving either fall or winter, but I feel like it's summer because it takes place in Texas and it's like hot and all that stuff. But other than that, yeah, it had the mystery, it had the puzzles, it was so layered. I enjoyed all the characters, the family drama, all that stuff. I talked about a lot of this stuff earlier, so it's not really anything new, but yeah, I really liked it, and I am definitely going to be picking up the rest of the series. This is a great start for the series and introduction and all that stuff, and definitely kept me intrigued. It was so easy to keep on reading, so I loved it. Yep, 4 out of 5 stars. And I also did read a little bit of Tale of Two Cities. I didn't mention that because I was reading it on audio, so I wasn't really like talking about it a whole lot, and I didn't necessarily need to read this. I thought I would maybe need to read it in order to reach the page count every day, but I didn't really need to do that. I didn't get very far anyway. I only read a couple of chapters, and I don't even fully know what it's about yet, honestly, because it's just a few scenes have happened that I don't know if they matter so much to the general plot, so I don't really know. I do know it's about a war between England and France, and that's like what the cover is. It's like the Notre Dame church and I think that's Buckingham Palace. So it's like, and the scenes that have happened so far are contrasting like France and England, so that is a theme, but I don't fully know what it's about yet, like the characters and all that stuff, but I am enjoying it so far because it's Dickens, so of course I'm enjoying it. But yeah, but I fully started and finished 3 books in this vlog, and so I am so happy. Thank you guys for watching all the way through. I really appreciate it. Please give it a like. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'm just constantly blown away by your support. I can't believe I got to hit 400 subscribers. I am so happy. I'm so ecstatic. I'm so shocked that this worked out, honestly. I really want to keep on doing this because this is a huge passion of mine, so if you want to continue to give me support, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to leave comments. I really want to know your thoughts on the books that I read and any books that you'd like me to read. So with that, that is my cue to leave. See y'all.